Okay. Rahul, can you allow me to also?
Yes, please wait.
Good evening, Professor.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, sir.
So how are you all?
We are
fine,
very
thank you.
good.
How are you?
Very good.
Okay.
I am also fine. And here in Varanasi, there is a too cold here.
Okay.
Less than 4 degrees Celsius. The temperature is going on nowadays. So during the night, it is too cold. Otherwise, during daytime, there is a less, you can say.
Yes.
Again, what about your semester examinations and result? Result has been published or not?
No. Result will publish, I think, probably next month.
Next month. Okay. So, what was your performance? You all.
So it was the result. When we see the result, then performance will be understand, because some papers was good and some was not very good. So after result we can say anything.
Yes. Let us hope for the better performance for you all.
Okay.
And what about Kiko? How are you, Kiko?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes, I'm fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, Mamoru Sato, we all are only 5 or 4 for this semester.
5.
Only 5. No?
Same students are there.
Semesters.
Yes.
Okay, this semester is meant for 1 year or 6 months. Do you have any idea?
Well, I think 1 year.
1 year.
I think so. We're not so sure, but I think it will be 1 year.
Because last time it took more than 1.5 years.
Yes.
Last year, the course which started. So let us hope, but the course which has been designed, I think it is for only 6 months. I don't know what is the procedure of Buddhist Nepali University, Sri Lanka, and under which this course is running on. So you all have got the syllabus. You have syllabus. You have sent me also.
Yes,
So
we have.
I will go through this B.P.G.E 201. So you know it very well, and there is a first paper, and that is entitled Philosophy of Early Buddhist Schools. So in this paper, we have to go through the philosophy ideas or philosophical thoughts which are available in especially Theravada and Mahasanghikas, as well as in Vaibhasik and Sautrantik. So we have to deal with that of how the Theravada, especially the philosophical thoughts which are available in our Pali literature, how they have been developed in other schools of thought also. And in the beginning also, in the last year lectures, when we are discussing about pre-Buddhist schools, if you remember, I had discussed also 6 schools at the time of the Buddha also. And before 6 schools of the Indian philosophy, we had also discussed some of the philosophical ideas available in later Vedic period and how it was developed in our Buddhist, that is at the time of the 6th century BC. And we are aware also there were 6 contemporary teachers at the time of the Buddha also, namely Puran Kassapa, Makhali Gosal, Sanjay Balatti Put, Niganthanath Put, Pakudkachayan, Sanjay Belatiputta. So there were 6 contemporary teachers at the time of the Buddha also. So all these 6 teachers were having different philosophical thoughts. And in a Pali literature, especially in Dikha, we are having that how philosophical thoughts were available in Samaya Phala Sutta also and in Brahmajala Sutta also. In Brahmajala Sutta, we had seen that there were 6 Michhaditti, that is the false views at the time of the Buddha. So in the first sutta of Dikha, that is the Brahmajala Sutta, there is a mention of 62 types of thoughts or views which were prevalent at the time of the Buddha. And they have been divided into 2 parts also. So we are not going to discuss, but see how at the time of Mahaparinibbana, we are quite aware that how there were differences among the Theravada Sangha also. At the time of First Buddhist Council, a venerable monk, Puran, he did not accept the proceedings of the First Buddhist Council, which was held at Rajgaha at the kingship of King Ajatasattu. So we are quite aware that there were differences among the peoples also. In some of the suttas, we are also having that how in the Sangiti Sutta, we have seen that Nigantanath Putta, who is called as Mahavir, Lord Mahavir, and when he passed away, some of the differences arose in the our Nigantanath Putta followers also. So Buddha also said some of the followers approached to the Buddha and they asked that let us have a council also. So during the time of the Buddha, a council was held, which is called as Sangiti Sutta. And all the teachings of the Buddha were rehearsed at the time when Buddha was dwelling at the Pava, and he delivered all the teachings of the Buddha. So Sangiti Sutta also informs that there were differences among the other sects also. So at the time of First Buddhist Council, we have seen that how Puran and other monks also didn't accept the proceedings of the First Buddhist Council. Even Second Buddhist Council, which was held in Vaisali, at the time of King Kala Asoka, we have seen that there were differences. And there were 10 points, Bathuni, under which the Second Buddhist Councils were held. And if you remember, at the time of the King Asoka, Third Buddhist Council, which was organized under the chairmanship of Mogliputta Tissathera, there were 18 sects. So we see that from the time of the Buddha, there were differences and there were thoughts which were developed until 3rd century BC, 251 BC, at the time of King Asoka, we are having 18 schools of the thoughts. So which are recorded in the Deepavans, Mahavans also. There is a mention of all these things. And in other versions also, we are having seen that how the thoughts were developed. Even at the time of the Buddha also, we have seen there were 62 types of Michhaditti. And this Michhaditti, they developed till the Third Buddhist Council. There were 18 sects, 18 Buddhist philosophical thoughts also. And if you go through the Milinda Pahiyam, which was composed in the 1st century AD, we are also having the references of 6 contemporary teachers of the Buddha, like Puran Kassapa, Makkali Gosala, Pagudakachayana, Niganthanath Putta, Sanjay Balatti Putta. So 6 contemporary teachers are also referred in the first chapter of Milinda Pahyo, that is the Mahir Katha. So we see that this 6 school of thoughts, which were available at the time of the Buddha also, they were also available at the time of the 1st century AD, when Milinda Pahyo, which is a dialogue in between the king Milinda and Acharya Nagasen, we are having the references of 6 major philosophical thoughts which were available at the time of the Buddha. So how the philosophical thoughts are arising? We have to discuss all these things in this paper. So if you go through the papers, you will see that how we have to make a relation between the Theravada as well as Mahasanghikaj and Sarvastivada philosophical thoughts. So you will see that the relationship between the philosophical trends in the Buddhist thought appearing in the Sutta Pitaka, especially what we are discussing, like Brahmajala Sutta, Samaya Phala Sutta, Sangiti Sutta, Agaya Sutta. So there are mentions of some of the philosophical thoughts in our Sutta Pitaka, like Dignikaya. So we have to see the relationship that how the philosophical thoughts which are available in the Sutta Pitaka, especially in Dignikayas, 34 suttas of the Dignikaya, and the Buddhist thought of the early Buddhist schools of Buddhism. Like in the Second Buddhist Council, we are having the Mahasanghikaj. It was the Mahasanghikaj which was developed at the time of the Second Buddhist Council. And later, at the time of King Asoka, we are having 18 schools of, or 18 sects of Buddhist thought. So what is the relation between the Buddha's thought at the time of the 6th century BC, which are available in our Tipitaka, Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, and how these thoughts were developed during the Second Buddhist Council, Mahasanghikaj, Bajjian, the Vaisali people, which participated in the Second Buddhist Council, and how at the time of King Asoka, the 13 Buddhist sects, 18 Buddhist sects which were developed. And we are quite aware that in the Third Buddhist Council, these 18 sects, 11 belonging to the Theravada and 7 belonging to the Mahasanghikaj. So altogether there were 18 sects. So detailed discussions has been given in the Mahavans also and in other texts also. So in during this week, I will send you some of the materials available related with the philosophical thoughts or emerging of the philosophical thoughts to you all people through email. But today we are going to discuss that what we are going to discuss in this paper in a very brief manner. Then you will see that different views of the Dharmavad and the various revisions. Dharmavad is that the dialogue which was established by the Buddha himself, that in which are available in our Pali literature. That is the Pali literature is considered as the earliest schools of the Buddhist thought. So what this has been established by Buddha himself, how it was revised, how it developed during the Second Buddhist Council as well as in the Third Buddhist Council, how these philosophical ideas were developed in different manners. So we are having that how Mahasanghikaj or Sarvastivada, how Abhidhamma developed in the Abhidharma Pitaka there also. There are 7 texts of Sarvastivada Abhidharma also. And the same our four Paramartha Dharma, namely Chitta, Chaitsik, Rupa, and Nirvana, they also developed in different manner. We have seen that in Theravada tradition, in Abhidhamma, there are 89 or 121 types of consciousness, 52 types of psychic factors, Chetsikas, 28 types of Rupa, and a state of eternal bliss. But in course of our development, during the second Buddhist council and in the third Buddhist council, the Sarvastivada tradition of Abhidharma also developed. And there, the number of or classification of the consciousness and psychic factors and the material quality, that is the Rupa, they differed from the classifications which was established in our Pali literature. So we have to study, or we have to make a relation between the Dhammavad, the thought which was established by the Buddha himself, and how it has been revised up to the third Buddhist council. So in this paper, we have to make a comparative study between the Theravada, Mahasanghikas, and Sarvastivada traditions. Till the third Buddhist council, we have to make a revision of all these things. Again, there is an analysis of mind and sense perception. In our last year class, we had discussed about the mind also. We have already discussed that man is a composition of mind and matter. In another way, man is a composition of consciousness, psychic factors, and the Rupa material qualities, Chitta Chetsika Rupa. In another way, man is a composition of Dwadas Aitan, 12 bases. In another way, a man is a composition of Atharas Dhatu, that is the 18 elements. Again, it is said that a man is a composition of Chitta Chetsika Rupa or Nam Rupa. So we had already discussed the relation between Nam and Rup also. We have already seen that here Nam is nothing but it is a conglomeration or aggregates of the Vedana Khand, Sanya Khand, Sankhar Khand, Biyana Khand. All together, these four skandhas or aggregates are called as Nam. And Rup is called as a material quality. That is the Chattaro cha Mahabhuta Chatunnam cha Mahabhutanam Upadai idam Bucchati Sabbam Rupam. There are four basic material qualities: earth, water, fire, and air. And based upon these four basic material qualities, Mahabhutas, there are 23 types of Upada Rup, that is the generated material quality. So this is the available in Pali literature. The concept of Nam and Rupa. What is mind? We had discussed in our last year classes based upon the Pali literature. Now, how it developed in Mahasanghikas or how it developed in Sarvastivada traditions, how the concept of mind and matter, Nam and Rupa, they have been developed in other schools of thought. We have to make an analysis of these Nam and Rupa in this paper also. Again, we have to see sense perception, that how the things are cognized, how the objects are being cognized by our mind. We are having the six senses, Chakhu, Sot, Ghan, Jiva, Kaya, and Mana. And there are six objects also, namely Rupa, Sad, Gandh, Ras, Pottabba, and Dhammayatana. Each sense has its own capacity to catch its respective object. Namely, eye has the capacity to catch the object of that is the which has the form and color. In the same way, other senses have the respective capacity to catch their own object, respective objects. So, how the objects are being cognized, how the objects are being known by our mind. We have seen in our last class how the things are perceived by our mind, how the roop objects are cognized by our mind. We have seen in our last class. But of how the other schools of thought, Buddhist schools of thought, are analyzing the mind and matter, and how the objects are being cognized by mind. It has been said in the Sarvastivada traditions also, in Abhidharma course, in the Roop, how the objects are being cognized. Again, in Vigyapti Matrata Siddhi also, there is a tradition of cognizing the perceptions also. And there is a representative theory in our Dinnag theory also, and in Dharmakirti, which was developed later on, which is a development of philosophical ideas of Yogachar traditions. So we are having all together Theravada, Sautrantik, Vaibhasik, Yogachar traditions. Altogether, there are 4 types of schools of thought mainly. But how these all Nam and Rupa and the perception of the objects, how the objects are being perceived in other schools of thought, we have to make an analysis of all these things based upon the Pali literature and how it is correlated with the other schools of thought available in Mahasanghikas, Abhidharma traditions, Sarvastivada Abhidharma traditions, and Yogachar traditions. So this is, we have to read it. Last time we had discussed about this sense perception only based upon the Pali literature. But now we have to discuss it with based upon the materials available in Sarvastivada, Yogachar traditions. Again, there is an analysis of matter and atomism. That matter, what is your roop also? In Theravada traditions, we have seen there are 4 types of Mahabhut and there are 24 types of Upada Roop. But this matter has been analyzed in Sarvastivada Abhidharma traditions in a different manner. And there is a concept of atom also. So how this smallest particle of our matter is called as an atom also. So there is a concept of atom which has been discussed in the Sarvastivada Abhidharma traditions. So we have to make an analysis that how the concept of matter has been changed from our Theravada traditions available in Pali literature with our Sarvastivada Abhidharma traditions. Again, then next topic is the concept of time. Here we, in Pali traditions, we are having concept of time. Time means that time has been defined in Pali literature that kaloti chand Surya Gati Arambhoti Pavuchati, Kaloti Pavuchati. That kal or time has been defined that it is nothing but it is the movement of sun and moon. Chand Surya Gati Arambho Kaloti Pavuchati. So what is the concept of time in Pali literature? It has been said that there are 3 types of kal. That is the Atit Kal, Anagat Kal, and Vartaman Kal, that is the Pachupan Kal. So there are 3 types of Kal or the concept of time which has been discussed. And all things which are happening in our day-to-day life, these are based upon the 3 stages, Upad, Thiti, and Bhanga, arising, staying, and the destroying. These are the 3 stages. And there are 17 thoughts, moments, which are taking place when the mind is cognizing the object. So there are 17 thoughts, moments, which are taking place. Mind is conscious, matter is unconscious. but still there is a happy functioning between mind and matter. How it is functioning, and there are mind moves 16 times of faster than the matter, that is the roop, and it is not within a single fraction of time. When a matter is cognized by our mind, there are 17 thoughts moments which are taking place in our time. So in Buddhism, there are three types of kal, and there is a dialogue in between Acharya Nagasen and King Milinda in Milinda Pahyo, which says that what is the kal, and it is said that it is continuing from the past, holy past also. No one can say that the time starts from here. It is just like a continuity. Acharya Nagasen said that it is called as a Dhamma Santati. So it is continuity. In the same manner, the personality of a man is called as a Chitta Santati. It is the continuity of a consciousness. There is no end of the time. Time is continuing. Only there are three types of time. So how the concept of time has changed in other schools of thought, in Mahasanghikas and in other systems of thought like Sarvastivad, Abhidharma traditions, and Yogachar, that is the Vijnanavad traditions. So we have to make a study of all these things in our this unit of our paper. Again, there is a theory of momentariness. Momentariness that we have already studied, law of dependent originations. That there is no self-independent entity. Everything comes into existence dependent on some cause and conditions. That is why in Pali traditions we are saying that imasmim sati idam hoti, imasmim asati idam na hoti, imas upada idam upajjati, imas nirodha idam nirujjati. That if there is a presence of this, there is the arising of this. If there is no arising of anything, there will be no any cessation of that. So that has been said in Mahabharata also. It has been said that whatever there is a cause, there is an effect of any dharma or anything is also. So that has been discussed. So there are 12 links of the law of dependent origination. So we have already discussed in our last class. So now this how law of dependent origination, that is the Atit, and all the 12 links, if you see, they have been divided into three parts: Atit, Vartaman, and Anagat. So Atit, that is the Avidya and Sankharaj, that is the ignorance and mental dispositions. They are signifying the past time, past Kal, that is the Atit Kal. And Jati and Jaramaran, the last two ones, they are signifying the Anagat Kal. And in between, there are Sankhara Pachaya Bhiyan. From Bhiyan to Bhava, there is a Vartaman Kal, that is called as a Pachupanna Kal. So these all, there are three times, lifetimes, which have been discussed in our Pali text. But how is this concept, momentariness, how this, the moment which is taking place in the present time, and which has not been taken place just now based upon the hetu and the pachai, that is the cause and conditions. So how the concept of time is changing, and how the momentariness, the 17 thoughts moment, how the moments are changing. It has been discussed in Sarvastivad Abhidharma tradition as well as in Yogachar Vijnanavad traditions also. So we have to make a relation between the Theravada as well as Sarvastivad and Yogachar Abhidharma traditions. So you have to make, we have to discuss all these things under this section. Again, next is analysis and synthesis of dharma. Here, Dhamma, that the teachings of the Buddha, that if you go through the Mahaparinibbana Sutta in the Digha Nikaya, Buddha says that after my demise or Mahaparinibbana, only Dham and Vinay will be your teachers. Buddha was asked that who will the teacher after your Mahaparinibbana? Then Buddha says that only Dham and Vinaya, that which will be your teacher, Sattva, after my demise. So how the analysis of the teachings of the Buddha, they have been done in other schools of thought, like Sarvastivada, Vaibhasik, Sautrantric, and Yogacara traditions. So we have to make analysis of that. We have already seen just now that how the Chitta, Chetasik, Rupa, and Nibbana, how there are 89 types of consciousness or 121 types of consciousness, they have been changed into 56 types of consciousness in Sarvastivada Abhidharma traditions and Yogacara traditions also. The number of psychic factors or mental states available in our Theravada Abhidharma traditions, it is not available 52, but only 46 types of mental states are available there. So how the analysis and the synthesis of the Dhamma, that is the teachings of the Buddha, we had discussed about only the four Paramartha Dharma, that is the ultimate reality, namely Chitta, Chetasik, Rupa, Nibbana. But as a whole, the whole teachings of the Buddha, which were discussed in the Pali literature, available in Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Sanjukta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, Khuddaka Nikaya, and in other texts of Abhidhamma Pitaka, how they have synthesized, how they have been analyzed in Sarvastivada, Mahasanghikas, or Yogacara traditions. In other way, how Vaibhasik, Sautantric, Yogacara traditions, they are discussing the teachings of the Buddha. We have to discuss in that unit in a detailed manner. Then again, division of the truth as conventional and absolute. There is two types of truth, Paramartha, Paramartha Satya and Sambriti Satya, ultimate truth and conventional truth. So in Pali literature also, we are having Paramartha Satya and Samutti Satya. Again, in the Madhyamik thought, and in Yogacara Vijnanavad thought also, we are having the Paramartha Satya and Sambriti Satya also. So how the concept of Paramartha Satya and Sambriti Satya available in our Pali literature, in Theravada tradition, how they are changing in other systems of thought also, we have to make an analysis of that in this the section of our paper. Then their mutual relationship, how they are mutually related, causally they are related with each other. How the Paramartha Satya or Sambriti Satya available in the Theravada traditions and in the Sarvastivada and Vijnanavad traditions, how they are related with each other, how they are mutually related, we have to discuss in this section. The last section of this paper is related with the Nibbana and its sectarian interpretations. We have already discussed the concept of Nibbana in our last class. So we had discussed the concept of Nibbana available in Pali literature. What is Nibbana? We had discussed. So in the Four Noble Truth, we had also seen that the third noble truth is that tanhai ases virago patinisaggo mutti analayo nibbanam ti pabuchyati. That third noble truth, that is the dukh nirodham arya satyam. What is the dukh nirodha? That it is the name of the Nibbana, which is the tanhai ases, where there is no any remaining of the desires, that is the kama tanha, bhav tanha, vibhav tanha. Tanhai ases virago, there is no attachment. That is the Nandi Rag Sahgata, Tatra Tatra Abhinandani Setitam Kamatana, Bhautana, Vibhautana. In the second noble truth, we have seen that what types of Nandi Rag and Kamatana, Bhautana, and Vibhautana. So the non-attachment of all these called as a third noble truth. Tanhai, Ases, Virago, Patinisgo, Mutti, Analayo, where there is the freedom of all the desires. So Nibbana, we have discussed that where there is all destruction of the desires, whether it is Kam Krishna, Bhav Krishna, and Vibhav Krishna, this is the state of Nibbana. Nibbana is of two types. We had discussed in our previous class, that is the Saupati says Nibbana and Nirupadi says Nibbana. But other systems of thought, like Sarvastivada, available in Abhidharma course, in Vigyapti Matrata Siddhi, in Yogacara traditions, how the concept of Nibbana has been discussed and how it has been interpreted by other schools of thought also, and how they have been related from Theravada traditions to Madhyamik as well as Vijnanavad and Sarvastivada traditions. So under this section, we have to discuss the concept of Nibbana and how they have been interpreted in other schools of thought also. So this is a very brief, you can say, course structure, which I have not received the detailed course structure from the Bhante Devananda, B. Devananda, but only these small guidelines which have been given. So based upon this, I will start some of our classes, beginning from the, you can say, Theravada traditions, that how there were two schools of thought at the time of the Buddha also, that is the Sraman traditions and the Brahman traditions, that is the Vedic traditions, and what are the similarities and what are the dissimilarities at the time of the Buddha, and then we'll discuss that who were the six contemporary teachers in a very brief manner. We have also discussed in our previous class also, but for the sake of revision, we'll discuss the six contemporary teachers also, that what are their views, how they have been 62 types of false views have been discussed in our Samanya Phala Sutta, how the six philosophical thoughts available at the time of 6th century BC has been discussed in the Samanya Phala Sutta and Sangiti Sutta. We will make an analysis in our coming class. So if you have any question, we can discuss the things. Otherwise, we can make a stop here. So we'll discuss the things in our next class also. So in the next class, we'll start the background of the Indian philosophy at the time of the 6th century BC, especially Sraman traditions and Brahman traditions. We'll discuss in our next class. So any question, if you have, you can ask. So today we have discussed only the course structure, what we are going to discuss in this paper. So if you have any doubt, you can ask.
Sir, I don't have doubt. But if the university provide the set of decided material for every subject, it will be better. I think you download some material from the internet and you send your personal notes, I think so. But university did not provide you, I think so. Is it okay?
Yes, I have not received any materials from the university. So you can also ask Bhanti Devanand that if he can ask the university authorities to get the materials from the university directly from their university website, it will be better because I do not have any access with the university at Sri Lanka directly. Only the course which has been provided to me by Bhanti Devanand. But there is no detailed syllabus here. There is no prescription of the books also, that what are the books are prescribed in this paper and what are the reading materials they have not given to you. So what I have materials I can share with you. These are my personal notes and these are the personal, you can say, the materials which I have. Otherwise, if university has already these materials, you can request the university authorities directly because you are directly admitted to the university through this Buddhist and Pali College, Japan. So you can request even last time I also asked you that kindly provide me the detailed last year questions also. When they provide the last year questions, and again I try to explain all these things. Lastly, they also changed at the last moment before the exam, and they had given the only the 10 questions, if you remember. And these questions were not related with your syllabus also. Some of the topics were not given in your syllabus also last year. So again, what I had the materials, reading materials, I had provided to you and I had discussed with you all. So this time, what will happen? I don't know. So if the university has the reading materials, you request, I will also ask Bhante Devanand. He is nowadays in Sri Lanka. He is not in Japan. So if you send the email and you request him to send the materials, it will be better also. And it is just the beginning. And it must be clear also that in how many days, in how many months, I have to conclude this paper, finish this paper within 6 months or within a year. So generally, one semester is meant for 6 months.
Yes.
But this semester is of 1 year or 6 months. I am not aware of that. So if you have Kiko can also request the university authorities that what is the duration of the course. This it is meant for only 6 months or 1 year, or what is the detailed course structure. So what are the text or the secondary sources, books which have been prescribed for this paper 201. If they provide, it will be better for me also and for you people also. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any more question, Momoro and Kiko, if you have any doubt?
No, today I don't have any question.
Okay, so I also do not have the detailed course structure, but what I have understood the course structure, I have shared today that what I am going to discuss with you. So if you get the detailed course structure, it will be better for you also and me also, so that I can concentrate based upon those detailed course structure also. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, take care and see you again. In the
Thank you
next
very
week.
much.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Professor.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.